Hello, and thank you for listening to my presentation. My name is Douglas Music. I am a student at St. Petersburg College. This community assessment of Land O'Lakes, Florida is part of my community health theory project. My professor's name is Dr. Lori McGill. These are my objectives that I will cover. Around 15 years after the American Civil War, the establishment of Land O'Lakes, Florida was in its infancy. During the 1880s, horse-drawn vehicles called stagecoaches were used to carry people from place to place. Land O'Lakes was known as a stagecoach relay station between Brooksville and Tampa. During this time, Land O'Lakes and many of the towns surrounding the city were manufacturing lumber and turpentine. By the 1930s, grapefruit and orange groves dominated this area, for citrus silviculture was the area's chief producing industry during this time. It wasn't until the year 1949 when Land O'Lakes received its official name. Land O'Lakes experienced an exponential population boom during the 1990s, growing from around 8,000 residents to 21,000, and today continues to attract people from everywhere. The Land O'Lakes area is recorded 19 square miles, and its water area is recorded around 2.3 square miles with a elevation about 75 feet above sea level. Pinellas and Hillsborough counties lie south of Land O'Lakes, Hernando County to its north, Polk and Sumter counties bordering to the east. Land O'Lakes borders the cities of Wesley Chapel and Lutz. In 2010, the population was stated to be nearly 40,000. For years, Land O'Lakes was a bedroom community, which means many of the Land O'Lakes population had to commute to Tampa or other cities for employment. Today, the average commute for residents of Land O'Lakes is around 25 minutes. Over the last few years, though, more businesses have come into the Land O'Lakes community. These businesses are a major mall, the Shops of Wiregrass, Lowe's, 2 racetracks, just to name a few. The Shops of Wiregrass is a Main Street-style outdoor lifestyle village that encompasses stores and restaurants. Today, professional services, scientific services, educational services, healthcare, retail, trade are all stated to be the leading employment opportunities in the city. There are many subdivisions throughout Land O'Lakes. The appearance of many of the homes look well maintained and yards are neatly manicured. Many of the buildings appear freshly painted. The abandoned buildings seem to be very limited, and the ones I saw are currently being demolished for future plans for rebuilding new structures. There are nearly 12,000 homes in the Land O'Lakes community, and many of them are either owned or rented. The Land O'Lakes real estate adequately meets the needs of its residents. For those less fortunate to own or rent, the City of Land O'Lakes through the County of Pasco can provide homeless subsidies and provisions to assist them. Some of these programs for the needy include Habitat for Humanity, a nonprofit housing organization with a vision for everyone to have a decent place to live. Habitat works towards building stability, strength, and self-reliance with family and people in need of decent, affordable housing. Another nonprofit organization, Metropolitan Ministries, is a nonprofit faith-based organization that faithfully answers for the poor and homeless families by offering food, shelter, and employment in order to get families back on their feet again. Cypress Grove is an affordable low-income housing tax credit apartment housing option for those on income restrictions. Also, for senior citizens, there is an advocacy group called Elder that provides a 1-800 number 24 hours a day. This phone number connects to a department that provides for senior citizens information, resources, and organizations regarding elder services and activities. How does Land O'Lakes compare structurally in meeting the needs of the community, one may ask? Well, Land O'Lakes contains 2 elementary schools, a Christian school, 3 private schools, and 10 preschools. Many of the preschools and daycares offer after-school programs for a fee. The Land O'Lakes Branch Library is one of 8 libraries in Pasco County. It opened in 1991 and since then has been offering featured services to the community. For example, some of the services provided are book and DVD checkout, baby story time, toddler story time, anime club, Windows 10 basics, iPad classes, crafts, and sewing. The Land O'Lakes Recreation Complex consists of nearly 80 acres of land with many football, soccer, and baseball fields. There are also pavilions with picnic tables and huge playground, a skateboard park, tennis and basketball courts, and a swimming pool. There is also a large indoor climate-controlled gymnasium with activity rooms and basketball courts. There are plenty of things for kids to do here. In comparison to the average age of people under the age of 18, the Land O'Lakes community has a higher percentage of individuals under this age group in comparison to Pasco County and the state of Florida as a whole. In relation to race in Land O'Lakes, 86.8% of the population is white. This percentage is higher than that compared to the entire county and the state of Florida. Also, Land O'Lakes' education level of people over the age of 25 is higher than that of the entire county and the state. This is a very educated community at 34%. The number of people with college degrees also surpasses that percentage of the entire county and the state. People who earned higher levels of education are stated to make better choices when it comes down to one's health. Hepatitis C and chlamydia are the two primary communicable diseases affecting this community. The CDC recommends all persons born between 1945 and 1965 get tested for Hep C. The reason for being tested is to ensure that one is not infected. It is stated that more people die from Hep C than HIV. According to the CDC, women 25 and older should be tested for chlamydia. This is a very common STD and can be easily treated, but if disease is left untreated, it can make conception very difficult. Heart disease and cancer are the two leading causes of death in the Land O'Lakes community. Tobacco use, lack of exercise, poor nutrition, and alcohol use are all contributing risk factors for developing obesity, diabetes, hyperlipidemia, and hypertension, and cancer. Unfortunately, unhealthy behaviors such as smoking, alcohol consumption, lack of exercise, opiate addiction, and unprotected sex with multiple partners all play a role in one's health. The Land O'Lakes community has access to two wonderful state-of-the-art hospitals. St. Joseph's North was opened in 2010 to the south, and Florida Hospital Wesley Chapel was opened in 2012 to the east. Both hospitals have an emergency department and are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year round. Both hospitals offer a wide variety of services too. There are also many ALFs in the area to meet the needs of those of the Land O'Lakes community. The following Healthy People 2020 objectives were chosen for the Land O'Lakes area. TU3 states to reduce the initiation of tobacco use among children, adolescents, and young adults. TU3 deals with younger people engaged in smoking and other tobacco use. In 2014, there were 101,519 known cases of lung cancer in the United States. One of the best decisions one can make is to quit using tobacco now. Nicotine is stated to be a powerful addiction to quit. There are many programs out there to assist the user in quitting. The readiness and motivation of the patient is most important, and self-management is key in order to kick this bad habit. STD1 reduced the proportion of adolescents and young adults with chlamydia infections. STD1 works toward bringing the awareness of how the disease is contracted. In 2015, Pasco County had 1,279 reported cases. Obtaining information from younger adults is not easy. Patients may not understand this disease and need to understand that certain risks can lead to long-term effects. Provide material and speak in a way that a younger patient will understand. HDS5 reduced the proportion of persons in a population with hypertension. The assessment of the patient's knowledge of hypertension is important. This is an important starting point for promoting education to the patient. Lifestyle changes is very important. There are many modifiable risk factors one can take to either avoid or reduce one risk for this disease. Pasco is the 12th largest county in Florida with an estimated population under 500,000 residents in 2010. Newport Richey, Port Richey, San Antonio, St. Leo, Zephyrhills, and Dade City are the counties that have corporate status and local government. However, Land O'Lakes does not have such municipality. Municipality, by definition, is a city or town that has corporate status and local government. Land O'Lakes resides within a district, and the county commissioner is responsible for this city's municipalities. Pasco County is governed by officials called commissioners, and they are by elected officials called commissioners and an appointed county administrator. Every 4 years, in November, the residents of Pasco County either re-elect or elect a county commissioner. Depending on which district one resides will determine which county commissioner to vote for. In the state of Florida, the maximum number of county commissioners allowed in a single county are 5. Pasco County has 5 elected county commissioners, and together they make up the Board of County Commissioners. This board not only embodies the policy-making and legislative branch of Pasco County, but is responsible for appointing a county administrator, a county attorney, and the heads of county departments. Together, these bodies are stated to make all necessary policy and budget decisions for the appropriation of funds to county departments. Land O'Lake falls in the territory of District 2. The county commissioner for District 2 is Mike Moore. He is also the chairman of the County Commissioners Board. Meetings are held every Tuesday at the West Pasco Government Center and can be viewed live on a 24-hour local television feed. In 2015, the CDC reported that Florida ranked 4th in the United States for opiate overdose deaths. Nationally, opiate-based drugs, fentanyl and heroin, killed over 33,000 Americans in the same year. In Florida alone, 3,328 deaths, 10% of national death total, is 20% higher than in 2014. This works out to be about 9 overdose-related deaths per day in Florida. Sadly, it has been reported that half of all these overdose deaths are prescription drug-related. Recently, state and federal officials are finally taking steps ending the opiate epidemic. Just this past Thursday, September 28, 2017, President Trump announced that the opioid crisis is a national emergency and is providing more resources to tackling this epidemic. Prior to the statement made by President Trump, our state governor Rick Scott, with the Surgeon General Celeste Phillip, had already declared opioid-related deaths and abuse as a state of emergency and also recognized as a public health risk and emergency back in May 2017. There are over 100 types of cancer. Cigarette smoking is stated to cause cancer. According to data, it has been stated that cigarette smoking causes most lung cancers, and 9 out of 10 lung cancers caused by poisons found within cigarettes. In 2014, there were 101,519 known cases of lung cancer in the United States. Florida had 8,316 of these cases, representing 8.2% of the nation's total lung cancer incidence. This total placed Florida within second highest incidence of cancer in the United States. Pasco County had 274 documented cases, which represented 3.5% of the state's incidence, placing Pasco in 12th place. Governor Rick Scott had requested that June 1st be dedicated and recognized as National Cancer Survivors Day. In 2011, cancer was the leading cause of death in Florida. Modifiable risk factors are stated to be to blame for high cancer rates. Most cancers are stated to be from a lack of physical activity, obesity, and poor diet. Hepatitis C causes inflammation of the liver. Hep C can be treated with antivirals. Currently, there are not any vaccines for this disease. Contracting diseases by blood from an infected individual. The only way to make a diagnosis of the disease is by a blood test. Hep C is stated to be spread through the sharing of needles between IV drug users. Not entirely understood, the CDC is recommending that anyone born from 1945 through 1965 should be tested for hepatitis C. In 2015, the state of Florida had 90,650 confirmed cases of chlamydia. Pasco County had 1,279 reported cases. This disease has become very common and can be easily cured. However, if disease isn't treated, it can make conception difficult for women. Anyone who has unprotected sex is at risk for chlamydia. Prevention is the best way of not becoming a statistic. Street lighting is also stated to be a deterrent of crime. It is stated that areas with poor street lighting have higher crime rates. Also, street lighting improves the safety for drivers and pedestrians. It is stated that about 45% of fatal and serious injuries to pedestrians and drivers occur at night when visibility is at its dimmest. Hurricanes always pose a threat for us Gulf Coast Floridians. Do you know your evacuation zone? Do you know your closest storm shelter? Always have a plan. The Pasco County Emergency Management guides Pasco County residents during a time of pending disaster. One can find tons of information at the Pasco County Emergency Management website. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed my community health theory analysis of the Land O'Lakes community. Thank you and God bless.